Welcome, Entrepreneur Nation, to the Entrepreneur Unplugged. I'm your host, Rolando Castro. On today's episode, we have a great duo, the most amazing woman on this earth, Carol Kundert, CEO and founder of CK Services. And we have Mr. Mamba himself, Mario Jimenez. Entrepreneur Nation, let's welcome Carol and Mario to the show. Welcome, guys.
Thank you for having us.
It's an honor to have you here. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I have some interesting, amazing milestones to mention. 81 years young. Carol, full of energy. You've been married for 57 years.
They're the same guy.
Amazing. Even better, right?
Yeah.
He's a saint or something, I swear to God.
I don't know. I don't know what magic trick you gave him,
Yeah.
but you've also owned your business for 38 years.
Correct.
Same business.
Same day.
I'm lost for words. You know, I known you for about 2 years, and when I met you, you were slightly a little bit younger, right?
Right, yeah.
Just a bit.
Months.
Nobody's counting.
Your enthusiasm as a human being, you know, is by far second to none. And the more we hang out, the more drinks we drink with one another. I love who you are. And if I could have half your energy when I'm your age, I could say that I'm going to be extremely blessed. How do you do it, Carol? What's your secret sauce that you can share with the Entrepreneur Nation?
I love myself, and I take care of me. That gets me going every day because I'm ready to go every day.
You became an entrepreneur at age 41 or 44, either one.
44.
44, right? Take us back, way back, how that happened.
How I became
How
entrepreneur.
you became an entrepreneur. I know that you worked for a company and they kind of groomed you and tweaked you.
I worked for a consulting firm in Washington, D.C., and they were consulting people, highly educated, well recognized nationwide and internationally. And one of the guys took me aside and said, "You're a grown-up." I said, "I know. I was 40 at that time."
Four.
Oh.
Let's get it right. Oh, you were 40.
40 at that time.
Okay.
And he says, "You have a lot to offer." I said, "Thank you." I didn't really realize I had a lot to offer, but evidently he saw. I didn't see.
It happens sometimes. You know, sometimes people see something in us that we might not see in ourselves. And that's the beauty about listening to people.
Mm-hmm. Right. So he said that to me. So let's fast forward a little bit. We go on to Milwaukee, and now it's 4 years later. I'm 44.
Okay. So what happened? Which entrepreneur bit you?
It didn't. They called me,
okay,
the company I work for in D.C., and said, "We want you to come back." I said, "I can't come back. I'm too busy. I'm not unpacked yet." Mm-hmm. No, you need to come back. We need you to set up this office, that office, this office. Mm-hmm. So I said, "Okay, give me a couple weeks and we'll talk."
Okay.
So we talked. I went, and he said, "You're going to be a subcontractor. We're going to give you projects." I'm not an employee. I have to be my own person.
Right.
So I came back. I said to my husband, I said, "They want to hire me."
You're like, "No, I'm not an employee. I'm
not.
entrepreneur."
They want it. Yes. And
Okay.
they've given me that title, and I go, "Okay, that's good. What does that mean?" And I didn't really understand.
Uh-huh.
So then I started thinking about it, and that meant that there was going to be no taxes taken out and plenty of benefits that I could take care of myself.
Okay.
So my husband was working for a law firm at that given time, and the law firm set up my corporation for me. Now, keep in mind, this was July, and my corporation was started November 1st, which is 38 years this month. And they said, "Do you have children?" I said, "Yes." "You think your children will want to do your business?" "I don't know. I won't push them, but if they want it, yes, I would." They said, "Well, you need to be a C corporation because then you don't sell your business. You change the officers, and it just flows on to the next generation, next generation, next generation." I said, "Well, I can do that."
Okay, sounds like a good plan.
I think that's
manageable.
Yeah, I can do that. So I was a one person corporation. But my husband and my older son, they were officers. And then my younger one son, I'm sorry, he was a director. At the age of 13.
Are you talking about CK Services, right?
Yes.
Okay, stop there.
Okay.
I want to rewind a little bit.
Okay.
When you first started, okay? One thing I found appealing about your bio was that you started your business with no business plan.
None.
No financial plan.
None.
No staff.
No.
and no office.
And no office.
But
I said,
but
but
you did have ambition,
I had ambition.
drive,
Drive is what I.
a great attitude. By far, the most important thing is support
Hmm.
and an I can attitude.
And I can.
That's beautiful. Because you, with very few resources as to how to run a business, but you had what's by far, I think, is the most important thing more than any plan. It's that I can attitude, is that ambition, that drive that says, you know what, I can do this. I might not know how, but I'm going to enjoy the journey. That's how I started my business. I didn't know how, but I said, hey, it's fine. Yeah, I'm going to fall, but I'm going to get back up. Right?
If you fall, is okay. It's the people who don't get back up has the problem.
And I want to make sure the reason why I went back to that, because that's extremely important. Because I want the Entrepreneur Nation who's watching to know that it's okay, we don't have all the answers. It's okay, we don't know how. But if you have a passion for baking cakes or being a photographer and you want to call yourself the photopreneur,
that's okay.
He knows who that's for.
Yeah,
and you have a passion for it, don't let the I don't know how stop you. You know what I mean? As long as you have ambition, drive, and 81 years young, you're a perfect example.
And I'm still there. Right. I still have it.
What was your journey like for the first year? I know that you had one client, right?
I had one client. Timing and keeping within the budget that I was given to manage. Mm-hmm. And that was a big one. They told me, I want an office opened in LA and I want it done in 6 months and I want this, this, and this. And I sat around and figured out how to do that. Mm-hmm. I didn't know how to do that. Mm-hmm. Nobody ever taught me how to do that. I said, I can do that. I didn't know how to do that. And I figured that out to do that.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful.
So that's one of those things that you have to trust yourself that you can do something. Mm-hmm. So I made a little list. I always do a list. 5 I can do, 5 I can't do. So I worry on the 5 that I can do and forget the 5 I can't do.
Beautiful, right? Work on your strengths.
Work
on your weaknesses.
What you can do. Don't worry about what you can't do because that doesn't matter.
Of course.
You're going to do this. Mm-hmm. And when you do this creates more of this.
Well, right, because this creates momentum. Right?
Exactly.
Okay, so I'm going to have to stop you there for a second. All right? You have an amazing guest, and he is your prodigy.
Today.
You are shaping this guy to be an unbelievable entrepreneur. He is vice president of your company, CK Services. Mm-hmm. Mario, let the Entrepreneur Nation know a little bit about you.
My name is Mario Jimenez. I'm 30 years young.
Right, 30 years young.
I like to say I'm 30 years old with 38 years experience because that's how old CK Services is. But yeah, I'm a very ambitious person. What else can I say? I'm hardworking. I'm very ambitious, optimistic, and I have a can-do attitude.
Mario, you went to ITT Tech.
Yes.
You graduated, your degree. You went to go work for H&R Block as an IT.
As an IT,
right?
yeah.
And you quit. You don't like it.
Yes.
Right. So take us to that stage where at one point you see, you know what, ITT Tech, this coding, technical kind of guy, it's me. Right?
Yeah.
You might have thought that at some point in your life.
Yeah.
But at what point did you realize it's not for me?
I think 2 years into working in H&R Block as an IT department, and I remember that we had a busy schedule. It was going to be tax season.
Yeah.
So we were setting up offices, and it was actually right here in Downey. And I was at the office one night, 11 p.m., right, working overtime. And I was in the office by myself. And I had to wait until all the computers were, up and running. The server was up. The printer was working. And I was just there by myself. And I was like, what am I doing here? Like, what happened? What happened to me kind of thing, right? I felt lost. But I knew I wasn't happy. And I knew it wasn't for me.
Yeah.
So after that point, I wasn't comfortable at my workplace. I started dragging going into work. I had a negative attitude at work, but it wasn't the job that I was doing. The job's perfect for somebody that loves doing that.
The job paid the bills, right?
The job paid the bills, yeah.
That job, but who you're becoming, the way you conduct yourself, your thoughts, your beliefs, even the people around you will see that. You know what, Mario's not. He's not at his peak game, and you were a hard person to be around.
I'm pretty sure I could have been, stubborn at times with my family. I could be getting the negative, take it home. You know what I mean? All the negative stuff that I was going through.
Right.
Yeah.
The reason why I say this is because I know a lot of people that work in jobs that they don't like.
Yeah.
And you could just view in their comments on social media, the way they talk about their job, it's a very negative attitude. How can somebody be in a negative environment, even if their job is great, but it becomes tedious work? You just don't like it.
Yeah.
How can you have a positive life outside of it? You can't.
You can't.
I don't care what you do.
You can't. Yeah.
That's the reason why I say that.
Yeah,
right?
you can't.
So at what point in your life you say, you know what, I'm done?
That was it. I mean, they did me the favor, and actually, when the economy hit, you know, when the recession hit in 2008, you know, that's when they did me the favor, and they didn't hire me for next year, actually. So they made a decision for me. They made it easy.
Your future was in their hands.
At that point, yes.
With a degree.
With the degree, yes. But they made a decision for me, and luckily they let me go, actually.
So it's a good thing, right?
It was a very good thing. At that time, it wasn't, because then I had to figure out where my next paycheck was going to come. After that, I worked for another seafood company, and I was a salesman. So I sold seafood, literally, like either containers or boxes, whatever they wanted. That's what I did. I would cold call. I did walk-ins. I did, you know, Yelp. I did Google. So I would literally call and say, hi, my name is Mario Jimenez. I work for so-and-so. Would you like to hear our special of the day? And 9 out of 10 would say no. Thank you. Hang up. The 10th one would say, call me back tomorrow. And I would. So that lasted a couple months, and then that wasn't for me. And luckily, they did me the favor also of letting me go. So then that's when I started working for Preferred, a freezer company. It's like a cold storage. And I did that for a couple years, actually. I think 4 or 5 years.
In a cold environment.
Very cold.
So here's a kid, mid-20s, I would assume.
Yes.
A degree in computing and coding and all that IT, which is extremely difficult for
IT tech,
understand,
yeah.
Which it's in demand, I will say, even now.
Mm-hmm.
But you're working in a freezer.
Yes.
Something was wrong there.
Something was very wrong.
But the way that I interpret that is that no matter what, doing something that's not making me happy, I'm going to pursue my passion. And no matter what I have to do to get there, I'm going to do it. That's kind of what your attitude was like, right?
Yes. It wasn't matter what I did. I didn't want to do that. Even though I had a degree, and it probably would have paid a lot more, I wasn't happy doing that. So I would rather do something else.
Right.
Yeah.
So what did you learn in that experience of going to college, getting a degree, and then realizing that, you know what, this degree, it's not my passion?
Well, I think what I realized the most is that I'm not afraid to take a chance. It didn't matter if I went to ITT Tech and, you know, I got a degree and I went to sell life insurance and I went to sell, you know, seafood. And now I'm at Preferred. It didn't matter where I was or...
It mattered where you were.
It mattered where I was going.
Awesome.
Which at that time, I mean, don't get me wrong, I didn't know what I was doing. I knew I didn't want to do that.
That's a good point there. Okay, how many people wait to take action, wait to quit their job, wait to take a step forward until they know where they want to go?
Yeah. Well, see...
And a lot of people are literally just waiting for the train, that perfect train to come by. And that's
they work for the perfect moment, and there is no perfect moment. You make the moment.
Right. So fast forward.
Okay.
I met you both. Beautiful couple. Kind of odd at times. At a local, the Bell Garnish Chamber of Commerce.
Yes.
In an earlier episode, we had the director there.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he's a great guy.
And I would see you guys great. I met you guys over and over again. I said, you know what, these guys don't make any sense.
No.
You know, how do you guys make a great couple? And you guys have an interesting story about how you guys came to be, right?
Yes.
Carol, we'll let you give the fiction version, and then we'll let Mario give us the real version, right? So go ahead and let us know how you guys met.
I saw him on the corner holding a sign that says, we'll work for food. I made a U-turn, came back. I said, get in my car. I can clean you up, send you to school, and you'll turn out okay.
Yeah.
That was 5 years ago.
5 years ago. Okay. So we all know that's not true.
That's not
right?
true. But it
No,
sounds
Mario,
good.
it
Sounds good. It sounds
It
good.
sounds good.
Yeah.
Typical story.
Sounds good.
Mario, let us know the truth.
The real story is I was volunteering at an old people's home on a Sunday afternoon. And after spending the afternoon with her, I was like, hey, you know, this old lady still has some spunk on her. So I said, I'm going to bring you on for the ride. And then here she is. Look at her.
Entrepreneurship. That's also a fiction story. How did you guys meet?
His brother
Right.
came to me as a referral from one of my clients with this huge tax problem.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Now, I'm one of the few people that I don't feel sorry for you if you have a tax problem because you caused it. I can help you, I can rub your back, I can get you out of trouble, but I don't feel sorry for you.
You shouldn't.
I'm not. However, Ray came with his big problem.
Ray's his brother.
Ray's his
Okay.
brother. And he was taken advantage of by his partner. So I felt for that.
Okay.
And that was
It
a true
happens a lot,
story.
Yeah.
So then I felt sorry for Ray. So I cleaned up Ray, patted him on the back. He went home and got his brother and his other brother, his sister, his mom and dad. Then I got them all.
Mm-hmm.
But I felt sorry for Ray, and I don't often do that.
Okay, great. Now, how did Mario end up working for you? Now works with you. How did that happen?
He was working for his brother Ray.
Okay.
And we chit-chatted on and off about what do you want to do when you want to grow up. Nobody ever asked him what he wanted to do when he grows up. You got to figure it out one of these days.
Of course.
He said, well, I think I like investments and stuff. Money? Money? Money?
Money.
He said, yeah. So I thought to myself, this kid needs a push.
Mm-hmm.
So I went down and signed him up for class, called him up that night and said, you still interested? He
So
said,
you
yeah.
asked him if he
I
wanted
did.
to,
I
right?
just did it.
And hold on, let me get this straight. So you signed him up for the class
Before him, he didn't
before
know.
you even asked him, right?
Yeah, yeah.
You took a gamble on
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
What was it about Mario that he just, that the little, dark Mexican boy
Because he
has a
needed
spark in him?
needed somebody to help him make the decision.
Okay.
Or I felt.
Okay.
So I said, well, good for you, because you start tomorrow morning at 9
Wow.
o'clock.
So
Yeah.
Mario, there's an interesting story behind you being in the class the first day, right?
Tax class, yes.
Tax class.
Yes.
So take us into that one day that was maybe by far maybe the most embarrassing day of your life.
It probably was. She asked, well, we had lunch for my birthday, and then she asked me what I want to do before I grow up.
Right.
So a week later, she emails me, and I'm still working at the cold storage. And she says, Mario, how do you feel about learning taxes? And me, I've been the kind of person that I've always been open to different things.
Which is
Like,
good, yeah.
I've always been eyeing what's next, what can I learn, what am I going to do next kind of thing. So when I got the email, I said, yeah, why not? At that time I thought I'll do it during tax season and I'll get some extra cash and, whatnot. So then I said, yes. She came back, replied and said, good, because you start tomorrow morning at 9.
Wow.
And I'm like, damn, what if I would have said no, That would have sucked kind of thing, right? But so next morning, me and her son, Chris, went to class. So they're outside waiting for me outside, right? So I park. Okay, they're there. So I get off the car, and here's CK with a tote bag.
A tote bag. That's one of those where you have the little cup and it's
Like a tote bag is kind of like,
lunch.
those bags for like markets, but it was cars. It was cars
The
themed.
car,
The movie cars.
The movie cars.
Yeah.
Right?
It was
So you're
it was
20-something-year-old and she walks in there.
20
Like a typical grandma.
20
Yes.
yeah, 25
Giving her
25-year-old,
her
and
lunch.
she's all like, this is yours, and it was cars. And Chris was, I think, Toy Stories, because it was
It
Toy
was.
Story
Was
1,
this
2,
in
or
front of
3.
everybody?
Yeah.
This was outside.
Oh,
So
fine.
she's like, here, this is yours. And Chris, he's already used to her, right? So she's like, yes, mom, kind of thing, right? So I look inside, and she's like, there's a calculator, there's a notepad, there's pencils, erasers. And, so I'm like, this is cars. And she's all like, I know.
She gave me like a Dodgers one or
Some black mamba, I don't know, surprised me. Anyways, we walk in, and me and Chris sit next to each other, and we're like towards the back of the class, and I see CK going towards teacher,
Carol.
which is Carol. So I see Carol, in the front of the classroom, and then she's all like, you see those two guys over there? And I'm just like, she's like, you see the smaller one? Because believe it or not, Chris is, tall and bigger. But, you see the smaller one? And I'm like,
Oh my goodness, how do I want to get away?
she's all like, he doesn't know anything. You see the other guy? And then Chris is like, he's just waving, right? Because it's
Yeah, well,
He's
for
my
your
mother,
mother, right?
my
Yeah.
That's exactly how you are.
So he's like, he knows something. He doesn't know anything. So if they give you any trouble, you call me. And I'm just like, Jesus Christ, So everybody's laughing. Mine is a full class, like a 30 30 persons in there, 30 people. And then, so she's walking out, and then as she's walking out, she's like, bye, right? So I'm just like, man, like, what the hell did I get myself into, right? And then Chris looks at me and says, you have no idea what you got yourself into, right? So as she's walking out, still outside, she's walking to her car, and she's like banging the window, like still saying bye, right? So yeah, that was a very humbling experience.
Mario, great story.
Yeah.
Carol, back to you.
Yes.
What is it about taxes, or what is it about your business that keeps you on top of your game? That because every time I go to your office, you're on the computer, you're hands on.
Mm-hmm.
You're not one of those. I feel that 37 years, you would hire people to do your job, but what you do, you have your staff, but you seem to be very involved in your work. What is it about your work that just kind of keeps you there?
I look at tax and bookkeeping as a big puzzle. And all these pieces create what I want. And what I want produces something good for the client.
Okay.
So it's a big puzzle. I look at it as a huge, I look at it as being fun. Now, I know that's a hard one to swallow. But to me, it's a big puzzle. Bookkeeping creates the numbers that I need for tax. And tax creates your life.
Okay.
And
Tax
I like
creates
that.
your life. We hate taxes.
I know that. But that's why I'm on your side, not their side.
You have a son who works
Yeah,
at the
but
IRS.
we call him Darth Vader.
Yeah, because he went to the dark side.
He went to he was in our business for 10 years, him
Kicked
and
him
his
out?
wife. Almost, but not quite. And he got hired the day he went for the interview because he knew tax.
I wonder how interesting your Thanksgivings are.
Oh,
What kind
great.
of conversation you guys have.
Oh, we do good.
Now, being in business for 30 years, first of all, I would like to congratulate you. That's an exceptional milestone.
Thank you.
What has been your biggest challenge in your entire 38 years? I know you had your challenges in the beginning, right? You started without a plan, but over the course of 30 years up to now, what has been your biggest challenge?
My biggest challenge?
Your biggest challenge.
My biggest one is when I got back to California in 85 and I had one client and I had nothing. I was broke. I had nothing. I had one client. So I said to my husband, I either got to go get a job or CK has to come back to life.
You made business cards and you hit the streets.
I made business cards and I joined the Downey Chamber of Commerce and got their list. And I started walking the streets, door to door, telling them how good I was.
So
I
you had a
three
choice.
finally.
Okay, so you went from one client to 3 clients.
Yeah,
right?
now I have 3.
Right.
Now I had a desk in my friend's office in the corner. And I said, well, I can do this.
So you either had the choice to give up CK
Mm-hmm.
and say, you know what, it didn't work out, and get a job.
At
or you're gonna
50.
try it. At 50.
At 50, I'm walking the streets selling myself. That doesn't sound right.
Well, I think you're doing yourself the right way.
Yeah, okay, that doesn't sound right.
Professionally.
It'll be a
Still doesn't sound right, but
it still doesn't sound right. So I was 50. And most people at 50, ladies especially, think they're done.
Yeah.
They're done. They're over the hill. I'm thinking, I got to get in gear.
Mhm.
My God, I got to get in gear. I got in gear.
So how important was having support at 50 years old? How did that help you in your entrepreneurship?
Because I didn't have to go home and say, what do you think? Are you on my side? He was on my side. I didn't have to ask. He gave me support. My kids all supported me.
Right.
So that's a big deal. If you have support in the family.
Huge.
Huge. Because if you have support, I don't have to call him and say, I'm going to be late tonight because I got to go meet somebody. He never questioned where I was, who I was with, and what time I came home.
He knew you were.
I'm doing exactly what he knows I'm going to do.
Right.
Now, what do? I call him and say, well, today we can text and stuff.
Yeah, lucky you.
Back in the day. I call him and say, I'm on my way. That means wherever I'm at, I'm 30 minutes before I get home.
Okay.
Now, that was almost to let him know I'm now coming.
You're done.
I'm done.
Yeah,
I'm on my way home.
I'm available.
I'm coming home.
Now, Carol, what advice can you give that person that wants to start a business? Maybe their business is not doing as well as they hope it would, but maybe doesn't have that family support, that support from family member or friend, partner. What advice can you give that person?
Don't give up. Go in the bathroom, look in the mirror, and talk to that person. That person is your support person. If you got your support for you, you can do it.
You mentioned in our previous conversations that be your own fan, right?
Yeah, I'm my biggest fan. I talk to me. Each of us have two within us, our business side and our personal side. I have fights with these two. And now that I'm a grandmother, I throw that in too. I can be a CK, which is my business. I'm Carol, the wife, mother, person, and I'm now a grandmother. My grandsons are 27, 23. I will fight with all three. I walk out with two solutions to whatever my problem is.
So that's how you approach your problem. Just give me the solution.
I give all the 5 bad things, and then I write 5 good things.
And focus on the 5 things.
Exactly. Now, this is not going to go away. I have to solve it.
Of course.
How am I going to solve this? It comes from here.
It's great philosophy.
You can solve it, but you got to be honest with yourself. You got to be tough with yourself. You can't roll over and say, I'll do it tomorrow. Tomorrow is not going to show up. Tomorrow is not going to come. Today is your day. And if you wait till tomorrow, don't wait. It'll never come.
I see Carol as a mentor for myself. I can just imagine how it would be working with her. How has her way of being, she shows a lot of love and care for you, and even a lot of advice. How has that helped you on your journey in being with CK? And if I may add, you are now vice president, co-owner after 5 strong years, right?
Yeah.
So how did having that support from Carol help you?
It helped me in a huge way because she gave me the support that I needed at that time. My family gives me, a whole lot of support, and I give them a lot of credit for where I'm at now in life. But when I met CK, she gave me that belief kind of thing where she believed in me before I kind of even believed in me. Okay. I knew I had something, and I knew I didn't want to do that status quo, but I didn't know how, and I didn't know if I could. So when I met CK, she really, practically saw whatever she's seen in me, and then she buffered me up to, what I am now. So I didn't see it in myself. I didn't know if I could. It was, shaky at times. But with CK, every time I would ask her, or even if I didn't ask her, she'll be like, you could do this. You could do this. I'm like, CK, you think I could do this? No doubt in my mind. I know you could do this. Wow.
That must be
so that was great at that time because that's what I needed. I needed reassurance. Even though I think I'm very confident, we all have that thought in our mind where, well, can I really do this? And
limited beliefs, right?
Yeah, because we all have a limited belief. But she really, and up to this date, don't get me wrong, I'm not where I used to be, but I know I'm not where I want to be. So she really pushes me, and she says, you could do this. No doubt in my mind. So having her and meeting her where I met her in my life, I think it was great. Because maybe if I would have met her at 20, at 18, or even at 23, I don't think I would have appreciated her for the person she is, because I wouldn't have been ready.
Yeah.
So I'm a true believer of everything happens for a reason.
Yeah, I believe timing is
and timing is everything.
It's everything, right?
Yeah.
And it's being in the right state of mind.
Exactly.
Right? Don't you think? Because a lot of individuals in Entrepreneur Nation, they might be lost. They might feel like maybe there's no light at the end of the tunnel, but they have an opportunity right in front of them.
Yeah.
But because they're close-minded, maybe they're not in a position to grab it.
Yeah.
And believe in themselves. They might never say, well, you know what, my timing never came.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly. It did come.
Yeah,
it did come.
You were just not in the right
You're
state.
not
Yeah.
there. You're not there.
Right. So, Carol, I say it again because I'm fascinated by it. 81 years young. What has been the best piece of advice that you have received?
That I have received.
That you have received.
Okay. That you can do this, whatever you want to do. That's forget CK service. But that, I have 3 that I can bow to.
Okay.
The first one was a lady, and she gave me I'm 19 years old, and she's telling me, you can do whatever you want to do because you want to do it.
Wow. That stuck with you.
And I'm thinking, what are you doing? Because outspoken anyway.
Of course.
Just a little.
That's an understatement.
But she gave me the at 19, she's telling me I can do this. And I'm thinking, I don't know, maybe I can do this. I don't know. And then I had two gentlemen. One in the 60s when I was at North American right here, when we went to the moon. And he really elevated me.
Wow.
He supported me. He gave me courage to keep going and do more than what you think you can do. And then the other gentleman was out of Chicago. And he was my one client that was in Atlanta, Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
So he gave me the courage to do it.
Wow.
See, everybody has it, but you have to have the courage to do it and the strength to do it. Those two are your partners. That lives with
Strength and
you. You
courage.
have to have the courage to do it and the strength to do it.
Mm-hmm. I'm excited about our guest that's going to be here soon.
Mm-hmm.
His name is Carlos Dones. He's going to talk about the mindset about running 170 miles across the Grand Canyon. And to me, when somebody tells me that somebody could do that, I think it's the mindset more than the physical body.
It is, because
Yeah.
his mind controls his body.
Of course. And
Yeah.
I can't wait to have him on the show.
Yeah, exactly.
But that's back to you, Mario. What's been the best piece of advice in your 30 years young that you have received so far?
I think it goes back to what CK said. She said that you could do it. You know, it all depends on how confident you are in yourself. You could do it. You really can if you stick with it and you don't quit, and if you're resourceful and find a way. Just because this person said no or that door, got shut in your face, doesn't mean that's it. You have to be resourceful and find a way.
That's great. That's great advice. And I'm glad you guys were able to take that advice and run with it. But one thing that I don't understand, and I have trouble understanding, is that you give people advice. Somebody might say to you, and some people can relate to this. Some people might say, you know what, I hate my job, or I want to make a change. And you give them advice, but nothing happens. I mean, what do you think is wrong with their mindset? That you give them advice, but they don't.
No, they're afraid.
They're afraid?
They're afraid. The comfort level they exist in today is their box. And they're afraid to go out of their box because they're afraid of the what if.
Mm-hmm.
The what if goes away in my life.
Wow. So what has been your biggest fear, entrepreneurship wise, that you maybe still have?
I have a
You
fear.
can be modest about
No, I have a fear.
Okay.
I want to pass on what I know to Mario and to my family, what I know, before it's too late. See,
so
my
you feel
life.
that you might not. You feel that you might not.
No, I don't have any fear of death.
Okay.
But I want to get everything out of my head into a book, so I can share it.
Okay. So your fear is not actually doing that before time.
Yeah,
picks you
yeah.
up.
That I'm going to run out of time. You guys have all the time in the world. Your time's ahead of you. I got 80 years behind me. I don't have 80 years in front of me.
That's a fact. Yeah.
Now I'm not morbid about it. I'm not, and I'm not living in fear. I know. I told Mario the other day, I've had the want to do it. Now I have the need to do it.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
So I'm happy.
Great.
I'm thrilled to death.
I applaud that.
I'm thrilled to death.
What's your philosophy of life? I mean, being 81 years.
Enjoy what you have, and if you have, all of us have had ups and downs and bad. My son died at 39 of cancer. Left my two grandsons, 3 and 7. That's the biggest heartache you can have.
Yeah. I lost a brother a couple years ago. Very hard.
So you have to live for the living, not the person who died.
Mm-hmm.
So my life, for my children, my grandkids, and for Mario today, I live for him. What I do today, what I think I'm doing today, is for him and my son, Chris.
How does that make you feel, Mario, that you have somebody who is not blood related to you, knows you for 5 years, but it's literally her 38 years of hard work. She's kind of pretty much giving it to you.
Mm-hmm.
To be honest with you, there's not a word or words that could explain that.
Has that hit you yet?
One day I will, and I don't get me wrong, I appreciate everything she has done. She's literally has taken me under her wing, and she literally is my mentor. And when I call her Granny, because I know I can call her Granny.
I don't
that
give that out to many people.
that
Yeah, I haven't. I'm not there yet.
Oh no,
I'm working my way up.
maybe.
Maybe.
I
Maybe.
don't know. I don't think about it.
So when I call her granny, I don't take that in vain, and I really mean it.
Mhm.
So yes, her family has adopted my family, but my family has also adopted theirs.
Wow.
So it hasn't hit me yet. To be honest with you, it hasn't. I still don't believe it. I say it. It doesn't have the meaning yet that I think it should have, because I'm still living it. You know what I mean? I'm inside the
So
bubble.
getting better, right?
I'm inside of the bubble still. If that makes any sense. So it still hasn't hit me. But it feels.
That's true.
But I'm very grateful. I'll tell you that much, and I'm very grateful that I met her.
Total bag
And
all.
yeah, toe bag and all.
That's a good story, right? I mean, we have kids and tell them that story one day.
Yeah,
You know,
definitely.
and hopefully in 30 years from now, when you're passing, you'll get up there and say that story, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
definitely.
Yes.
So what is it about you two that one word that defines your connection, the relationship, the way you guys get along, business and personal?
Respect.
Respect.
I have respect. I give him respect, even though he's a kid. It's
Thank you.
okay. So-
I'll send you a check later.
Thank you very much. But respect. If I don't have respect, I have given him respect.
Mm-hmm.
Respect is a big one with me.
Wow. For you, Mario?
For me, I think it's the connection we have. It's
How do you define it?
I can't. It's weird because to say we have a connection, I can't put it into words. We when we met and we had our conversations during lunch, and she took me out for my birthday, we just clicked.
Which is now a tradition.
It's not tradition. Every October for my birthday, we go out and we go to the same place.
Mhm.
So it's the club.
Hopefully I'm invited next year.
No, nobody's invited.
No,
me.
nobody's invited.
What are
I'm
you
sorry.
doing?
There's,
I'm
you know
invited
what?
this
John,
year.
you're not invited.
There's a list that want to
You
go.
get in line.
Yeah,
We'll get him
and I already know my present.
and tell him.
Every
You put me in front of the line.
every gift is the same gift,
Yes.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
which is
Beautiful
scratchers.
connection.
Which is scratchers.
That's good.
Boy, we're
Maybe
gonna
one
get
day
rich
you
off
guys
of one
will
of
grow.
those.
One day. Yeah.
You probably have a cut, right? You know what? To see you guys in action, it's by far, it's beautiful. You have
Thank
a
you.
great spirit. I really admire who you are as a person. I have my mentor as well, Gary Chomey. He's older than me, and we also have a connection. I see him as a father figure.
Mhm.
I still have my daddy's alive,
Mhm.
but I don't have the connection, unfortunately, that I have with Gary.
I
So I
understand.
understand where Mario is having that,
Yeah.
that elderly, not elder person to be
But
able to.
I am. I have. Not, that's
Yeah.
okay.
Well, mine is not that.
No.
Mine's a little younger. You go smoke cigars.
I can drink you under the table.
You probably can.
Yeah.
You probably can.
Yeah.
We're getting close to the end. I hate to say it, and I know somebody, Entrepreneur Nation, has seen the connection that you guys have, and maybe is gonna go out and talk to their granny.
They
and say
could.
They could be their mentor.
Let's see if they could.
Look for mentor. Look for mentorship. Look for somebody that you emulate, that has a great spirit, that's lovable, and that's willing to extend their hand. If somebody's extending your hand, take it.
Take
That person could be the difference.
If they will
It can
be
change your life
everything.
and introduce entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
Yes.
This is the end, but
But
I have the bonus unplugged round.
do we have
You
to
ready?
answer this?
Yeah, we have to.
We have.
You have
We
to.
signed the waiver.
Did
Yeah.
I did sign that? You
Yeah,
signed
you
my
did.
name?
You signed the waiver?
I signed three.
Talk to my
I did
director,
not
I'll check
sign
out.
anything.
Waiver
Yeah, you
has to
signed.
be signed.
Did he sign my
You
name?
signed 3 X's.
Did
Yeah.
he sign my name?
Yeah.
Oh,
You
he
ready?
put down there. Go ahead.
Okay. If you could talk to your 20-year-old self again, what advice would you give her?
Stand up.
Were you
Walk
saying that when you
tall.
were 20?
Listen, I was a grown up at 13.
Wow.
So if you're 20, you should be standing up and walking tall and know exactly. You can fail, you can fall down, but you need to get up and go.
Great.
Okay, that's my joke. It's not a joke.
Somebody's left. I heard a
Yeah, I
giggle,
know.
right?
Yeah.
What are you most grateful for?
That I've lived as long as I have, and my memory is still intact. My body's falling apart here and there, but it's okay. I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm grateful that I'm still good.
Yeah.
I'm very grateful
That's
for that.
definitely a blessing.
Yes, it is.
Good for you. Mario, what are you most grateful for?
Most grateful for my family and their support. but I'm more grateful for having CK in my life and really being a mentor that I needed at that time, and I still need. So hopefully she keeps taking care of herself and drinking that, wine at 11:30 a.m. every morning.
I think that's wine.
Happy hour.
That's-
Yeah, it's something in the wine.
This is not water.
No, I could tell
But
you.
yeah, that's what I'm grateful for.
Great.
I'm grateful for being, blessed with support from my family and Carol.
Great. Outstanding. Last question.
Effing standing, yes.
Last question. And you're a fellow firewalker as well, right?
Yes, I went to the Anthony Robbins
Months ago.
a couple months ago,
Awesome.
and it was great.
Life-changing
It
experience,
was definitely life changing, and it's funny because I started reading about Anthony Robbins at an early age.
Right, yeah.
So just to go to one of his events was mind blowing. It was an amazing time.
Definitely one of our experiences.
Yeah.
Okay, Mario.
Yes.
If you knew, if you could give up one of two things, but
Okay.
giving one of two things up is going to make you successful.
Mhm.
Which one of the two would you give up?
Okay.
Your phone or sex?
Can
Yeah, go ahead.
earmuffs?
Earmuffs.
Earmuffs?
You got
Earmuffs?
in the house.
Yeah.
No, just playing.
Yeah, I know.
Can I use my tablet?
Oh my
Oh,
God.
God.
You see, that's what the entrepreneurship opportunist comes out. No, you have to give up one.
For how long?
Yeah. For how long?
I don't know what.
No,
For a year?
we're not giving up either one. Go
No,
ahead.
you have to.
No, we're
You have
not.
to.
Okay.
It's-
If I had to
you have a choice
choose,
to give up your cell phone or sex for 1 year, what would it be?
I think I would give up sex because
Good
I
move.
could figure that out.
All right,
Okay,
good move.
it's unplugged.
Good,
We'll leave it
good
there.
move. That's great.
Make it explode.
Oh my God,
Boom.
I like that one.
Carol and Mario, it has been a pleasure. A lot of fun to have you both on the show.
Thank you for having us.
You're welcome. Believe me, I am confident that Entrepreneur Nation, somebody picked up some great nuggets.
They only need 3.
You gave
No,
more.
You gave more.
You only start with the 3, and then you go from there.
Good.
What I got is get the 5 that work, get the 5 that don't work, throw them out.
Throw them out.
Yeah.
Focus on the 5.
Why are they? This will work.
Carol, thank you.
You're welcome.
I wish you guys nothing but the best with CK Services. Vice President, I hope you one day do have your 3 offices.
Thank you very much.
Carol, continue being that wonderful person you are. Never stop being who you are,
I won't.
because you shine my light as well.
Thank you, sir.
Okay? Like I always say, if our meeting together helped one person, inspire one person, then this year was a success.
It is.
Thank
It
you very
was.
much.
Thank you.
Entrepreneur Nation, on to the next one. Thank you.